Hello students, this is Gunjan Soni. Welcomes you at Shri Mahavir International School online classes. In previous classes, we have seen that how to calculate electric field due to a uniformly charged non-conducting sheet as well as electric field due to uniformly charged conducting sheet. Okay, so in this sequence, we are going to discuss that how to calculate electric field due to a uniformly charged sphere. Okay, first of all you have to keep in mind that in this topic we are going to discuss about a non-conducting sphere. Okay, because the case of a non-conducting sphere and a conducting sphere are different. Okay, so in this topic we are going to discuss how to calculate electric field due to a uniformly charged non-conducting sphere. And I think you know that whenever we give charge to a conducting or a non-conducting sphere, then distribution of charges are different in both cases. In case of non-conducting sphere, the charge given to the sphere is distributed uniformly throughout the volume of a sphere. So here if we give some charge to this sphere, then charge distribute uniformly inside its volume. Okay, now the electric field due to these charges will be like this in all directions, in three-dimensional, we can say that. Okay, so if you want to calculate electric field at a point P which is situated at a small distance, distance small r from the center of the sphere, and here the radius of a sphere is capital R, then how to calculate the electric field at P point? So be passing through that point at which we want to calculate electric field. So here the dashed line represent the Gaussian surface, and this Gaussian surface is passing through the point P. Okay, now the second rule of Gaussian surface is that the electric field at every point of Gaussian surface should be perpendicular to the surface. Okay, suppose that here is a plus charge, and electric field due to plus charge is always in radially outward direction, and at every point you can see that the electric field is perpendicular or normal to the surface. Okay, according to second rule of adsorption of Gaussian surface. Now if you want to calculate electric field at P point, so we consider electric field only at P point. So we can erase all these lines. Now at P point, first of all you have to consider a small area element here, and the area vector of that area element is written as S1 vector. Here S1 vector is the area vector of this area element. Now the direction of electric field at this point is also in same direction that of area element. So E vector and S vector both are in same direction at P point, or we can say that the angle between electric field vector and S1 vector is 0 at this point. Okay, so the flux passing through the area element we can write here as phi equal to E vector dot S1 vector. Here phi represent the flux passing through this small area element. Okay, and we can say that it is d phi. D phi means the small value of flux that is passing through only a small area element. If you want to calculate the total flux passing through the Gaussian surface, then you have to integrate this equation. So after integration we can write here as phi equal to integration of E vector dot S1 vector. Okay, now this is the equation first. Okay, so this is the calculation of flux with the help of Coulomb's law. Now we are going to calculate this flux again with the help of Gauss law. So according to Gauss law, the total flux is equal to total charge divided by epsilon naught. Okay, and equation 1 and equation 2 both represent the same physical quantity, total flux passing through the Gaussian surface. So we can equate equation number 1 and 2 to calculate electric field. Okay, and another important point in equation 1 is that whenever you want to calculate electric field at any point of this Gaussian surface, then electric field will be same or electric field will be constant, because this Gaussian surface has same distance from the center. Okay, if you want to calculate electric field at this point or at this point, then here we can see that the distance of these points are same from the center of the sphere. So if you want to calculate electric field at this point or at this point, then the electric field will be same. The magnitude and the direction of electric field will be same in this case. So the electric field will come out from this sign of integration, and from this first equation phi become electric field and integration of S1 vector. Okay, from equation number 1. Now what is the meaning of S1 vector integration? Here the integration of S1 vector represent that here you consider only a small area element. When you integrate this area element, then you will gain the complete area of this Gaussian surface after integration. So the complete area after integration become 4 pi small r square. So Gaussian surface, the Gaussian surface here is spherical in nature, and the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. And you have to keep in mind that here we have to use small r, because the radius of Gaussian surface is small r, not the capital R. Okay, so this is the total surface area of Gaussian surface. Now this is equal to equation number 2, which is total charge. Total charge can be represented by the Q, if the charge is given as Q, and Q divided by epsilon naught. Okay, so A become Q upon 4 pi r square into epsilon naught, and we know that the value of K, that is electrostatic constant, is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught become K, and this equation become KQ upon r square. This is the value of electric field at any point on this Gaussian surface. Okay, so the formula KQ upon r square of electric field, here answer KQ upon r square is just similar to the answer of electric field due to a point charge. In previous chapter we have seen that the electric field due to a point charge is KQ upon r square, and in this chapter, in this particular derivation, the result is also similar. So we can say that the charge distribution here can be considered as a point charge. We can consider that the charge, total charge, which is equally distributed in whole volume of this sphere, can be considered that the whole charge is situated at this point at the center. So the electric field due to a point charge become KQ upon r square. Okay, and in this case the electric field varies according to distance. If we draw a graph between distance and electric field, then we will get graph something like this. When we increase the distance from the center of a sphere, then electric field decreases according to increment in distance from the center of a sphere. Okay, want to calculate electric field at this surface or inside the sphere, then what will be the procedure? We will see this procedure in next part. Okay, so So in this sequence we are going to discuss how to calculate electric field at the surface of a uniformly charged sphere. In the first case we have calculate electric field at outside the uniformly charged sphere. It means a point at which we want to calculate electric field is given outside the uniformly charged sphere. But in this second case, we are going to calculate electric field at the surface of uniformly charged sphere. So first of all, we have to consider a sphere which is uniformly charged, and because it is a non-conducting sphere, so the charge is distributed throughout its volume. Now you want to calculate electric field at this point P, which is situated at the surface of uniformly charged sphere, where the radius of a sphere is capital R and distance of point P in this case is also capital R. It means we can say that small r become capital R. Small r is the distance of the point at which we want to calculate electric field, and in this case the value of small r and the radius of a sphere both are same. So in this case, to calculate electric field, the procedure remains same. First of all, we have to consider a Gaussian surface, and you know the rule, you know that what is the rule of consideration of Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface should be passed through the point at which we want to calculate electric field. So in this case, the Gaussian surface should be passing through this point P. Okay, so the surface of a sphere and Gaussian surface both are same in this case. Okay, now the procedure will be same. The procedure remains same at P point. First of all, you have to consider a small area element, and the area vector of this small area element is S1 vector, and electric field at this point is also in same direction, because electric field due to plus charge is in radially outward direction. Okay, so the flux passing through this small area element is equal to phi equal to E vector dot S1 vector, and we can say that it is d phi, a small flux passing through this small area element. Now if you want to calculate the total flux passing through the whole Gaussian surface, then we can integrate this equation E vector dot S1 vector, and after integration it becomes total flux which is passing through the whole Gaussian surface, and electric field is constant, so it can be written outside this sign, and this is S1 vector. Okay, or you can write down S1 without vector, because when we open this formula, A vector dot B vector equal to AB cos theta, so here the value of theta is 0 degree and the value of cos 0 become 1, so you can leave this term and this become equation number 1. This is the total flux passing through the Gaussian surface. Now the same flux can be calculated with the help of Gauss law, which is total charge upon epsilon naught according to equation number 1, and the result, and equation number 1 and equation number 2 both represent the same result, so we can equate both equations, E into S1 integration and Q upon epsilon naught. What is the value of integration of S1? Here S1 is the area element. When we integrate this area element, then we gain the total surface area of this sphere, because the total surface area of this sphere is equal to surface area of Gaussian surface. Okay, so here the surface area become 4 pi r square, or we have to write it as capital R because the radius of Gaussian surface is capital R in this case, and Q upon epsilon naught. Now the electric field become Q upon 4 pi r square into epsilon naught. 4 pi epsilon naught become K, which is electrostatic constant, and divided by R square. Okay, so result is same as previous case. KQ upon R square is the electric field due to a uniformly charged non-conducting sphere at this surface. The main difference between both cases is only the term is capital R. In previous case, here from the center of a sphere is a small r, and in this case the distance of point P from the center of a sphere is capital R. So there is a minor difference between both formulas. Now third case, electric field inside sphere. Now in this sequence we are going to discuss how to calculate electric field inside the uniformly charged sphere. So in this case we want to calculate electric field inside the sphere, so we have to consider a uniformly charged sphere. It is not looking like a sphere, so okay, and it is completely charged. In this case we are going to calculate electric field at a point P, which is situated at distance small r from the center of a sphere, and the radius of a sphere is capital R. Okay, so the procedure of calculation remains same. First of all, we have to consider a Gaussian surface which have to passing through the point P at which we want to calculate electric field. So here we consider a Gaussian surface of radius small r. Now again we have to consider a area element, and the area vector of this area element is S1 vector, and the electric field at this point P due to charges is also in same direction, because due to plus charges electric field will be in radially outward direction. So the flux d phi, small flux passing through this small area element, d phi become E vector and S1 vector, and total flux passing through this Gaussian surface become integration of d phi integration of E vector dot S1 vector. After integration it become total flux, and electric field is constant, so it can be write as this. Okay, so this is the calculation of total flux passing through this Gaussian surface of radius small r. Now you want to calculate electric flux again with the help of Gauss law, then we can write phi equal to total charge divided by epsilon naught according to Gauss law. And equation number 1, equation number 2 both represent the same physical quantity, so we can equate both equation as E integration of S1 equal to Q upon epsilon naught. What will be the value of integration S1? Here the integration of S1 represent the total surface area of Gaussian surface, and here the total surface area of Gaussian surface is 4 pi small r square, because radius of Gaussian surface is small r, so we can write it as 4 pi small r square. And the most important thing in this derivation is that here small q is not the total charge of a sphere, because according to Gauss law, the electric flux calculation of electric flux phi is only due to the charges enclosed within the closed surface. Okay, we do not consider here the charges which are situated outside this Gaussian surface. Suppose that in this question or any numerical it is given that the total charge given to the sphere is capital Q, but you have to write down the charges which are enclosed within the surface, not the total charge. So first of all we have to calculate what is the value of charge small q which is placed inside this Gaussian surface. Okay, and how to calculate this charge? This is the method. So first of all, to calculate the value of small q, you have to consider that the charge capital Q is uniformly distributed in the whole volume of a sphere. Okay, after this consideration we can say that the charge inside volume 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. This is the volume of sphere, complete sphere, and charge present inside this volume is capital Q. Okay, if charge capital Q is uniformly distributed in whole volume, then we can say that if the charge Q is present in this volume, then the charge present in volume 1 become Q upon 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. This is the value of charge present in unit volume. Okay, this is the charge present in unit volume, and here we want to calculate the charge present inside the Gaussian surface, inside this Gaussian volume of small r radius. So we can write here as 4 by 3 pi small r cube. The value become Q upon 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. This is the charge inside a unit volume, and we want to calculate the charge present in this volume. So the value of small q become capital Q small r cube divided by capital R cube. Okay, so first of all, in this case especially, you have to calculate the charge which is enclosed within the Gaussian surface. Okay, so after putting the value of Q here, the value of Q become capital Q small r cube divided by capital R cube multiply with epsilon naught. Okay, so r square and power cancel each other, and E become Q small r divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into r cube, and finally we can write this term as kq small r divided by capital R cube. Okay, so this is the value of electric field at point P situated at small r distance from the center of a sphere. Here capital R is the radius of a sphere. Okay, and from this answer, from this result, it is clear that the electric field is directly proportional to distance from center of a sphere. If we put the value of small r equal to 0, it means the point P is situated at the center, then electric field become 0. But as the distance small r increases from the center of a sphere, the electric field also increases, because charge enclosed within the Gaussian surface increases according to radius, but it can increase up to the maximum distance capital R. After that, if you increase the distance of point P, then charges remain enclosed only inside this sphere. So charges cannot be increased and electric field decrease according to the distance R. Okay, so especially in this case, the electric field is directly proportional to small r. If we draw a graph between distance and electric field, then graph will be like this, straight line graph. As you increase the distance from center, then electric field also increases. When you reach at surface, then electric field become maximum, and after surface, if you increase your distance, then electric field decreases. So if you want to summarize all these three cases of electric field due to a uniformly charged non-conducting sphere, then we can draw a graph here. Between distance and electric field. So when value of small r is less than capital R, value of small r become capital R, and value of small r is greater than capital R. Okay, inside this sphere, in this case, the point situated inside this sphere at which we want to calculate electric field. In this case, the point situated at the surface, and in this case, the point is outside the surface. Okay, so there are three cases according to these three conditions. Now in this case, the electric field is directly proportional to distance. After reach at surface, the electric field decreases according to distance. Okay, so here the formula kq small r upon capital R cube, and at surface this become kq upon capital R square, and outside the surface this formula become kq divided by small r square. Okay, so this is the relation between electric field and distance in all these three cases.